13 years worth of Florida corrosion on these hubs and this rear knuckle, which is probably not bad compared to you guys up north. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to continue my caliper painting series by dismantling my rear calipers and rotors. I need to prep those so I can paint them all the same color at the same time I do the front ones, so stay tuned. So what we're going to do now is I'm taking off this rear caliper so I can refinish it the same color as the front. What you need to do is take off the brake line, which is a 14 millimeter back here, and then there's only one screw that takes off the actual caliper itself, and then there's a the bottom here is just a slider. So that was a pretty simple removal. If your rotors don't have a lip on them, you should be able to pop it right off without removing the pads. So it's just that one bolt up top that holds it in. It started spinning the rubber gasket, and this is the bottom slide pin. That's the one that's notorious right here for seizing up on people. I always keep mine pretty well lubricated. Probably at least once a year I take it apart or I work on it just to make sure there's enough lube in there just to keep it from seizing. So I was looking at the condition of these rotor hats on mine too. They're starting to corrode where the wheels, the dissimilar metals, the aluminum and steel kind of meet up all the time. I'm gonna just take these apart and paint them black also when I paint the same black that I'm gonna paint the back of the shields and gloss them up, make them look presentable since everything else I'm making is presentable. So to get the rotor off, you just gotta find a metric 12 millimeter screw that will fit into these holes right here, and then just thread it through. It might be kind of hard because of the corrosion in there a lot of times, so you might have to shoot it on with a ratchet or something. I'm just gonna slowly shoot it on with the impact. As I mentioned earlier, that slide bolt down here is the one that's notorious for seizing because of the boot. This is that, or not that, this is the boot that fits under there. This one usually gets moisture in it if you don't keep the rubber or the grease inside this rubber always greased up. If it gets moisture and then it seeps into this design right here. It's a poor design because once water gets in there, there's nowhere for it to go. It's kind of a sealed compartment, so it just ends up corroding, and then that part corrodes inside there. So when that happens, you have to actually replace this whole bracket, and you have to get the caliper itself and the bracket brand new. So when you're ordering it, you have to order it in one piece. And a lot of places sell either just the caliper alone without the bracket or both. So you always have to, if you have that problem, you have to get both, and then you got to return the core back to the store or back to Rock Auto or online or wherever you're buying it from. But yeah, that bracket bolts onto the back side by two 17 millimeter bolts there. So I'm not going to paint that bracket because it's not visible, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to paint the actual caliper body itself. So I'm going to use some kitty litter in my tumbler just to get these babies cleaned up. I'm gonna clean the parts now with my ultrasonic degreaser. So what I'm gonna do is I put all the parts in here, let them in. I'm gonna spray them down with some degreaser, and then add the hot water into here, and just let it run. I'm gonna set it to 480 seconds. That's the maximum it goes. And just get it started and let it run. All right, just finished up. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just clean all this stuff up and off camera, get it all ready, put back in the car. So I wire wheeled all that surface corrosion off before I spray this. I'm gonna have to hit it with some self-etching primer just to make sure everything sticks to the bare metal that I got it down to. On the inside, you know, where it meets up with the hub, you got all that corrosion in there that's also affecting the hub. So I hit that with the wire wheel just to clean it up a little bit. I'm not gonna coat this side of it. Now I have to hit the hub actually on the car to get that cleaned up before I put these back together. So I painted these calipers Basecoat and Clearcoat about 2 years ago with the black, which is actually the same color black as the car, the 212 Obsidian. It's held up pretty good in the last 2 years. Just got, you know, every time I wash it, I just got to wipe it down. I think I just have a couple minor nicks here and there on them, but the paint's held pretty good for the last 2 years. So to prep this one, all I need to do is actually just hit it with a scuff pad just to get it some surface for the new paint to stick to. Any spots where I have some scratching or some chips from when I was putting my wheels on and off and doing some work, I'll just sand those down a little bit, maybe hit them with some etching primer before I coat it. But other than that, that's all I really need to do. And then I just need to, you know, put tape around all the seals and the holes and whatnot. You saw earlier I had to sand down the inside of this bleed valve. So when you tighten the bleed valve down, I think there's like a little gap in there. If moisture gets in, it's going to corrode this bolt. So that's why I took it out and cleaned it a little bit, so put it back together so I don't end up with some corrosion in there for whatever reason. Good. I've got everything, all the good surfaces pretty much roughed up enough for the new base coat to bite. A couple of these spots that had some chipping paint, I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of etching primer on those spots. I think got one spot there and another spot right here, but that's really all. It's held up pretty good. Right there, I guess, is another chip right there. So, but overall, yeah, I'm just gonna hit it a couple spots there with some etching primer and let it sit and then lay down the base coat. So I laid down that etching primer. I overdid it on some of the spots because the can over here was getting low and I had to turn it upside down. I misshot, but oh well, it covered where I needed to and some, so I'll just let that dry before I lay down that base coat. So thanks for watching all the way to the end, guys. I'm gonna end this video right here. I'm gonna continue working on these, but my wife's trying to make me go inside, spend some time with the kids and family. So I'll go do that, and then later on I'll finish up this. I'll probably end up doing it tomorrow or the next day whenever I get some time. So thanks for watching, and don't forget, I still have that VLAN giveaway, the VLAN headlights on those right here. I've been trying to give away. I've got that subscriber contest, so check out that video to figure out the details on that and how to enter that drawing. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.